Hi, welcome to Love Saranghae with Peter and Andrea. In the next 30 minutes, we'll take you on a journey into the exciting world of entrepreneurship, relationships, and the secrets behind achieving that coveted glow. Are you ready? Let's go.
Welcome back to another episode of Love Saranghae with us, Peter and Andrea. Today, we're talking about a topic that's often overlooked, but equally important: men's skincare. Why do so many men neglect their skin? What does a solid skincare routine look like for men? And how can we shift the mindset to make skincare a priority for everyone? Stay tuned as we break down these questions and offer some simple, effective solutions to help men level up their skincare game. Just like you, Peter.
Yes, we're going to talk about cavemen today because that's the vast majority of us. We're cavemen. We grunt, we smell, and sometimes we're proud of it. So
sometimes,
that's the reality. So let's talk. I mean, look, there's no black and white here. There's no true answers and nothing that is like absolute truths and falses. We're just going to talk about why men skincare has come to this today and figure out a way if there's a path forward, right?
Well, I think you're the perfect person to have this conversation with, actually, because you were that person years ago. And now you're probably better at skincare than even I am. And I consider myself to be really good at skincare. So I guess my first question for you really is just, let's figure this out. Like, why do you think men in general tend to neglect their skin or their skin health? Or I guess they view it as unnecessary. Like, why? Where does that come from?
Well, I think it's part cultural. And I say this because I see more men now asking questions and trying skincare routines compared to, let's say, 10 years ago or even 15 years ago, right? And when we launched Saranghae Skincare, I've rarely got men asking questions. But now, almost 8 years later, we get a much greater number of men asking questions. I've got friends who are actually starting their skincare routine. So I think it's changing. And that's because I think the idea of what's attractive or what's necessary for men in general has changed. In my generation, it was about simplicity. It was about not caring too much. Like, if you care too much about something, you're not cool. And the definition of attraction or attractiveness for men back in the day was ruggedness, right?
Yeah,
like the gray hair, a little bit of those wrinkles, a guy who looked like who's been through the ringer a little bit, maybe military, maybe construction. I don't know. It was rougher on the edges, right? Big guy with big hands and beards and et cetera, et cetera. So that was the definition of attraction. I don't think that's gone, but what I do notice is that there are different versions of attractiveness in men today.
Yeah,
there's greater number of what is considered attractive and desirable, and it's not being laughed at. So like, whereas before, men would kind of laugh at other men who were a little bit more feminine or did not have the ultra masculine look. Right. But that's not a thing anymore.
Well, I don't know, because we have quite a few customers who have told me on the down low that their husbands, they were wondering why their skincare was running out so quickly. And they figured out that their husbands were using their products secretly. So once they noticed the results in their wives or their partners, they were like, hey, I want that too.
Yeah.
But they weren't telling their wives that they were using the products. So I feel like there's still that stigma around men caring too much.
Probably.
Yeah, like, it's still there. But I think, people like you, I think I would consider you as like a tough, big guy. But you do care a lot about your skin. So the more of you there are, the more I think men feel safe that they can look after their skin and still be men.
Yeah.
Or whatever that is.
Look, see, if you look at the commercials today, even still, Old Spice is probably the most popular of the men's grooming products, and the commercial was aimed at women, men, ladies. Do you want your men smiling like me, looking like me? So it was aimed at women to purchase products for men, and it did extremely well. So which means that the men did use it. And Old Spice has been around for 40 years, so there's some, at least there's a market there. But again, everything is aimed towards women. You need to push your men to overcome that hump. But it is better. It is better today than it was years and years and years ago. Because I've got friends who are now starting to ask questions and starting to use. So that's good.
Exactly. Even in the DMs, I'm seeing them on Instagram. I'm seeing like, every, 30 DMs I get from a woman, I'll get one or two from a man asking about things like aftershave or like what do we do if I have like basically a skin concern question. So that makes me really happy, and I always celebrate them when they do. So,
by the way, our listeners should know that there is no major difference between men and women's skin. General difference, the main overall difference is that men seem to have a thicker stratum corneum, which is the outer layer, compared to women's skin, who's a little thinner, but that's it. Other than that, it's pretty much the same skin. So men, you don't have to have men skincare. You can use your wife's stuff and it will work just fine.
Okay, well, I guess that leads me to my next question is, what are the most common skincare issues men face? And how are they different from women's skincare concerns? Or are they different?
Well, I don't think from the almost decade of talking to customers, men stealing their women's or their ladies' skincare products, the most popular one so far is just simple hydration, because men's skin, they don't tend to wear sunscreen during the summertime. So it gets dry, it peels, and then when you have dry skin, you can see a lot of wrinkles. So at my age, you'll see a lot of men with dry skin that are hyperpigmented because they don't use sunscreen, and they're starting to crack. They're starting to show a lot of wrinkles. So the vast majority is how do I look a little younger? How do I get that bounce back? And the answer is really, the basic answer is a great moisturizer.
Right.
You start with that. Remember we talked about the foundational product and you build up from that?
Yeah.
The foundational product is a cream. And then you build up with a serum. The serum to basically act as a sister product to the cream, because serums penetrate, creams protect. If you have been listening to us over the last, few months on our podcast, you'll know that we're really big believers in exfoliating and cleansing.
Yeah.
So then that's the next step. Cleanse, cleanse, cleanse.
I would argue that cleansing and moisturizing would be the foundational steps.
I do. So right now, men will be listening to this podcast and saying, I cleanse my skin. I use soap.
I take a shower every day.
Yeah. Well, I use Irish Spring or, Lever 2000 on my skin. So the one thing, and I used to do the same thing. Like you
do, right?
Do. Listen, I used to play sports, and when I used to take a shower after practice or games, you use a bar of soap, and which you would use for your body, but also for your face, sometimes even your hair, and that we would think that's clean. And no wonder our skin felt dry and tight afterwards because you're using soap. The one thing I didn't know that I know now is that soap leaves your skin highly caustic, and caustic skin, or if anything that is of base, like pH of 12, is ripe for bacterial infection. It's actually very, very harmful for your skin. Your skin's natural pH is 4.5, or 5.4, which is slightly acidic. So your skin has to be slightly acidic for it to be healthy. And so leaving your skin in a caustic state, a basic state, is not good for your skin. And that's what we used to do all the time.
But that's why you guys always had all these bacterial infections in the locker room.
Yeah. Staph infections. Yeah. Because you think soap kills it. And in reality, it's not. Acid kills it. Yes. Right? So that's the one thing we realized. Yeah, that's the one thing we realized is, so that's why I use a cleanser now. And then I use a toner to rebalance that pH. That's rebalancing your skin to its natural acidic state. That's what you need to do. And then everything happens afterwards.
Okay, so let's go back to the skincare issues in men. My question there would be what about shaving? So most men shave their face.
Yeah.
Every day, every other day, whatever it may be. How does that affect your skin over time?
Yeah, so I don't shave very often. So I'm not an expert in the shaving field. Maybe I'm lucky or unlucky. But there's a specific product base for people who shave and who people want to maintain beards. And we don't Saranghae doesn't specialize in that sense, but you could almost imagine what problems shaving introduces, which is basically pore control, having pores that are clogged that leads to ingrown hairs, infections, etc., etc.
Yes.
So once again, cleansing and exfoliating consistently and then rebalancing your skin's pH is essential in that sense. Like one thing the men will appreciate more so than our female customers is that men understand that there is no secret sauce here. Like it's not about introducing a miracle product formulation that's going to solve world hunger. It's simply about having a good routine done consistently, right?
But they want to know it's effective.
Of course.
They're not going to go out and buy 10 million different products and try them out and see which one works. They have the mindset.
That's right.
At least you are. Like, just tell me which one to get. I'll get it and I'll use it. Keep it simple and I'll do it. Or in your words, keep it simple and stupid. So
make a kiss. Keep it simple and stupid.
Okay, so then, I might actually think that the snail mucin might be really good for someone who's shaving every day.
Yes, I think so.
It reduces inflammation, redness, helps to heal scarring and all kinds of things. So
I use it every day. I use it every day because I use my 2% AHA, BHA exfoliant, so I use snail mucin to calm it down right afterwards. It's a natural partnership. And I don't know if people know this, but snail mucin actually has a very high concentration of natural hyaluronic acid. So instead of buying a product with concentrated synthetic hyaluronic acid, a better bet would be to use a snail mucin serum, which has naturally occurring hyaluronic acid for skin plumping and moisturization.
And healing.
And healing.
Okay, so what are some myths that you've heard around men's skincare that you think need to be debunked today? Are there any myths that you've heard?
Yeah, the first myth is that you have to have men-only skincare line or skincare products that are designed for men and men only. And that's a myth. A good moisturizing cream, a good serum, a good cleanser works for every skin. Doesn't matter men or women. So
I love that. So you and a partner can buy the same products and share the love. So openly and freely.
Yeah, so gentlemen, go raid your wife's skincare cabinet.
But tell her, because if she runs out before she knows, she'll be really upset.
Which happens quite often, to be honest. Which happens quite often. We get that a lot, actually.
Where's the rest of my cream?
Yeah. Also, a myth is that you have to have a 10-step skincare routine or a 13-step skincare. You don't. It's whatever works for you, right? So I would just start with cleanse properly, balance your skin, and then use a moisturizing cream. Just those 3 steps.
Cleanse, tone,
moisturizer.
And moisturize. That's 3.
Yeah, and it does that solves multiple problems. So, for example, 1 is anti-aging, right? Hydration. 2 is preventing, or at least helping to prevent hyperpigmentation. 3 is helping your pores. So you're not going to get ingrown hairs. You're not going to get itchy skin. And it'll just make your skin a little more healthy. Right. So those 3 steps done, and just stick with that for a couple of months and see what happens.
I would add a sunscreen to that.
Yeah, I mean,
if they're so inclined, I think sunscreen is a big one for men. They almost never use it either at all or they don't use it properly. So they apply it maybe in the mornings or just before they go to the sporting event or whatever, and then they never apply it again. And men sweat like something I've never seen before. Yeah. So when you sweat, you need to reapply more often.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I do admit we have created our own SPF 50 skin sunscreen, and I still, as the creator of this product, I still don't use the sunscreen enough.
Why is that? Is it just like it's inconvenient to take it with you? It's one more thing you have to carry or you forget. Like, what is it about sunscreen that so hard to remember?
One of the things that I find men don't like is the feeling of heaviness. So we want our face to be light for many reasons, right? Because we sweat a lot, right. And because we're active, we don't want to have. We've never put makeup on, and women know what it's like to have things on their face. Yeah. Men don't. So all of our products are light and fast absorbing. It's the SPF that's 50, especially the SPF 50, because it's pure mineral based. It's thick and it lathers and it doesn't absorb. It's designed not to absorb. It's supposed to sit on your top of your skin and absorb the UV light, turn it into heat. And so that feeling is foreign to us. right? So I tend to use it when I know I'll be up outside for a long period of time. It was great in Bolivia because it saved my skin from severe burns when I was climbing mountains in Bolivia. I use it when I run, but in every day, unless I know I'm out for a long time, I don't reach for it. And that's a mistake on my part.
Yeah. It's good to know, though, because once you understand why, then you can try to find ways around it to make it more user-friendly in some ways.
What other myths do I run across with men's skincare? They have to be expensive? No, they don't have to be expensive at all. You know, a good skincare routine will be maybe $50 to $60. It'll last you 2-3 months.
I think it depends. I think that's a myth for all skincare in general. Like paying $500 for an eye cream is really unnecessary.
No, unnecessary.
The ingredients, typically aren't that different. And it depends. You need to look at the ingredients, and you want to also look at the concentrations and all of that. But really don't need to be spending some brands we all know are very, very expensive. Yeah. And they're on the same assembly line as some of our products. So we know for a fact that these products do not need to be $500 a piece. So more expensive does not necessarily mean better.
Exactly.
Okay, so we kind of talked about a simple and effective skincare routine. For you, for someone who's starting out, your recommendation would be cleanser, moisturizer, and SPF. If you're able, you can do cleanser, toner, moisturizer, and SPF. We really believe in the toner because it really does prepare the skin for the steps following it. It's also the final cleansing step in the cleansing routine. And for men who sweat, who are very active, it's really, really helpful in keeping those pores clean.
So I will offer a challenge. Okay. So for men and women who are listening to this, next time, after you cleanse or use soap or whatever you do for your morning routine or evening routine, take a cotton pad. Your ladies will have a cotton pad ready. They always do. Q-tips and cotton pad. Take a cotton pad, put our toner onto the cotton pad and just wipe off. You'll notice that it becomes grayish yellow. That yellow is your sebum. It's excess oils from your skin. Unless you're extremely dry skin, most of us will produce sebum. And some will produce a lot more. That is the excess oils, sebum, that is coming off from your pores. Okay? Now, if you want complete resurfacing, you have to use something like a 2% AHA, BHA exfoliator to loosen all that up. But the toner will do 95% of all of that, the Perfect Balance toner. You'll see that it's grayish and yellow, right? That basically, when if you're 50 years old, for the last 50 years, you've been basically going to bed with clogged pores, dirty skin.
And then, if you're not changing your pillowcases,
it's going on your pillowcase. So,
and then it's going and you're clogging your pores even further. So that's another thing. I think people in general don't really pay enough attention to is hygiene. Washing your hands before you do your skincare routine, changing at the very least your pillowcases twice a week. Those kinds of things really do make a difference. Even the towels. Use a different hand towel and use a different towel for your face. Don't dry your face with your bath towel. Those kinds of things are all little things that you can do to improve the look and feel of your skin.
Most people, especially men, don't know how bright, plump, and youthful their skin can actually look.
Yeah.
By just doing a basic skincare routine for 30 days. You're so used to having dark, ashen, dry, and flaky skin that you think it's normal, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
That's true. This would be interesting. So I guess, how can women, if we're going back to the Old Spice example, how can women or other family members encourage the men in their lives to take better care of their skin? What would be
Well, okay, so...
What would you suggest?
So in the beginning, I think you got to make it easy for them and just simply, make it easy for them. So what I would do is get this Saranghae Nourishing and Moisturizing Oil to Foam Cleanser, put it in the shower so the men can actually do it in the shower. Okay, that'll make it easier for them, right? So use soap for your body, loofah, whatever you can, shampoo for your hair, and when you cleanse your face, use the cleanser. Okay, it'll oil up on your skin, then it'll rinse off. That's the first step.
I like that. Simplify.
Okay?
Make
Simplify.
it easy. No, you don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
It's there in the shower. Ready to go.
Exactly.
Okay,
and then,
perfect.
Yeah.
Next one.
And then have the same products, not the men's product, the same products that you use for yourself. Have the men use a toner to wipe. Give it to them. Give the thing to them and say, just wipe your face and just use this cream. That's it. 2 more steps after.
Okay, but that's babysitting. No one's going to do that. I would suggest instead is to have it on the counter.
Yeah.
So you have the cotton pads in a small little bowl, like a jar on the counter, with the skincare. Like wherever they wash their face, wherever they go in the morning or night before they go to bed, just have it out. Let them do it.
Yeah.
If they see it, they'll probably use it.
I mean, they use aftershave, so all you gotta do is the same motion. Just put some cream and put it on your face.
Yeah, so really, I guess the message is to simplify and make it simple, like easy for them to use that instead of the bar of soap, or use that instead of. And then I would think something that I've noticed with you, Peter, is compliments.
Oh,
so when I say, wow, babe, your skin looks so good, you stand up a little straighter and you get like, oh, you feel good. You feel like good about yourself. And we're the same. Women are the same. We like the compliments. They make us feel good. Make sure they're genuine, though. We can tell the difference. But when I compliment Peter, he feels good, and it motivates him to keep going with whatever it is that he's doing. So that's another one.
Compliments always help.
Yeah.
Compliments always help. Yeah, that's true. And so that's it.
Is there anything else you want to add or say to the men out there listening, or to the women who are hoping?
I do. And I think it's this, because as you know, I'm 50 now, and as I get older, I do see life from both sides. I see young couples starting a family, but I also see now fathers of my friends who are coming up with diagnoses, and they're nearing the end of our timeline, and a lot of them wish that they could buy a little bit more health, get a little, what can they do now to get a little bit more mobility, a better quality of life. And that conversation should have happened 30 years ago, right? The right diet, the right exercise, just even 30 minutes a day, and a good skincare routine that you can do in literally 5 minutes a day, maybe even 2 minutes a day, not even in the morning, just maybe at night, although it's better if you do morning and night. Early on in your process, even as late as 40, you can start anytime. Those decisions, those little things that you do make a big difference when you're 70, 75. It's too late when at that age you don't have your health, or your skin is no longer healthy. It can't stop. It's the barrier's not working properly, and it looks, a little older than you'd like. The time to do that is now. Just the simple steps every single day, because prevention is far more effective than trying to fix something down the road.
Yeah.
And that's true in everything in life.
That's not true. I was just going to say that. That's true in everything. The more you can prevent these things by doing small, daily, stackable habits, the better. The long game will be for you.
But ladies and gentlemen, I will do you even better. One better. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're men in your life, or to the gentleman, for yourself, if you've never done a proper skincare routine before, you will visibly see improvements within 30 days.
I would say
30 days, probably even less. And that will help you keep going, right?
Yeah.
But just get started. A good skincare routine, you will see a visible difference pretty soon. And then you can maintain it as a lifestyle for years to come. But just get started.
And I would say, actually, one thing I would maybe slightly disagree with you on is that it's never too late. Truly, the earlier you start, the better. 100%, I agree there. But it's really never too late to start. So even if you are 70 and you're starting, it's better to start. And you will notice a difference. It may not be the same kind of a difference as you might notice had you started at 40 or 50 or 30, but it is never too late. So just start.
Of course. Yep. I agree with that 100%.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in today with us, Peter and Andrea. We hope you've gained some insight into men's skincare, why it's so important for you guys to prioritize your health, your skin health. And remember that self-care isn't just for women. Healthy skin can boost confidence, appearance, and overall well-being for everyone. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. And as always, if you have questions, specific questions around men's health or anything else, please feel free to send us a DM on Instagram at Aurora Skin or through our website, which we will leave in the show notes. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. All the best.
Thanks for listening to Live Saranghae with us, Peter and Andrea. If you've enjoyed this episode, leave us a review. Your ratings and reviews help more people like you find our show. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and share this podcast with someone you think would love it. Until next time, love yourself, love one another, and love the world.